So, you've got your hands on a brand new Brompton electric? That is awesome. Congratulations. My job here is to get you from that box to your very first ride, feeling totally confident. Think of this as your essential quick start guide. So, yeah, let's just dive right in. All right, so you've wrestled it out of the box, and there it is. It looks amazing, right? But hold on. Before you just hop on and go, we've got to cover a few key things. We're going to walk through the absolute essentials, the must-knows, to make sure that first ride is just super smooth, safe, and most importantly, a ton of fun. Okay, part one. So before you even think about pedaling, there are a few simple checks we need to do. And trust me, getting this initial setup right is absolutely crucial. It's not just for the bike's long-term health, but honestly, it's for your own peace of mind. So here they are, your first three actions. These are totally non-negotiable. You got to do them right away. Number one, register your bike. Number two, get that battery charged all the way up. And number three, check your tire pressure. Let's break down why each of these is so important. Okay, first things first, registration. You're going to want to find the serial and frame numbers. They're right there on the main frame. And just take a minute to get registered online. Why? Well, this is what activates your warranty. And, even more importantly, it gets your bike's unique details into the Brompton database. That is a huge help if it ever gets stolen. Seriously, whatever you do, do not skip this step. Next up, let's talk about the battery. The manual is super clear on this one. You've got to give it a full 100% charge before you use it for the first time. If it's completely empty, you can expect it to take about 5 hours to get all the way to the top. So just plug it in, go do something else, and let it charge up completely. That way you're starting out with the maximum possible range. And last but not least, tire pressure. Now, I know this sounds small, but it is way more important than you might think. See, having properly inflated tires doesn't just help prevent punctures or make the ride feel better. Here's the real kicker for an electric bike. It makes a huge difference to your battery range. If your tires are soft, the motor has to work so much harder, and it just drains your power way faster. All right, with all that prep work out of the way, let's get to the fun stuff, the magic of the Brompton. In this section, we're going to cover two things. First, mastering that iconic fold, and second, really understanding the electric assist that makes this bike so darn special. Okay, unfolding. I know it can look a little intimidating at first, but it's really just a simple sequence. Let's walk through it. Step 1, flip out that left pedal. Step 2, raise the handlebar all the way up and make sure you tighten that clamp. Step 3, swing the front wheel forward and clamp it. And finally, swing the rear wheel back until you hear it click. You know, just do it a few times and I promise it'll become total second nature. And folding, well, it's pretty much just doing all of that in reverse. So you start by tucking the rear wheel under the frame. Then you undo the main hinge clamp and fold the front wheel right alongside it. After that, you release the handlebar clamp and let it drop down. And the very last step is to fold in that left pedal. And bam, just like that, you've got that famously tiny, compact package. All right, now let's get into the electric part of the Brompton Electric. So how does this thing actually work? Well, the first thing to know is it's not like a scooter with a throttle. Instead, it's got this really smart system. There's a sensor that measures how fast and how hard you're pedaling, and then it tells the motor in the front wheel exactly how much extra power to give you. The result is this really smooth, really natural feeling boost. Here's a key number you're gonna wanna remember, 25 kilometers per hour. That's about 15.5 miles per hour. Now that's the maximum speed that the motor is going to help you out. It's set that way to comply with regulations. Now you can totally pedal faster than that, of course, but once you go past that speed, the motor cuts out and, well, it's all you. So how do you control that boost? Easy. It's all done with the buttons right there on the battery pack. You've got a few modes. Mode 0 means zero assistance. You're just riding a classic Brompton. Then you have modes 1, 2, and 3, which give you more and more help. The trade-off is pretty simple, right? The more assistance you use, especially if you're blasting up a big hill in mode 3, the faster you're going to drain that battery. And that means, of course, a shorter overall range. But here's the thing, the assistance mode you pick is really just one piece of the puzzle. Your actual real-world range depends on so many other things. We're talking about your tire pressure, like we already mentioned, but also how much effort you're putting in, the kind of terrain you're on, if there's a headwind, even how much weight you're carrying. If you can get a handle on all these factors, that's how you'll squeeze the absolute most out of every single charge. Okay, great. You've nailed the setup, you understand the core features. Now it's time to talk about actually hitting the road. Let's make sure you're riding safe and riding smart. I can't stress this enough. Before every single ride, it really pays to do a quick mental check. Just ask yourself, are both of the hinge clamps tight? Is my saddle at the right height? Are the tires firm? And is that battery bag clicked securely onto the front block? Seriously, making this a habit takes like 5 seconds, and it guarantees a safe start every single time. Here's another really important number for safety: 110 kilograms. That's about 242 pounds. What is that? That's the maximum total load the bike is designed to carry. And that number includes everything: you, the battery, any bags you have on the front or back. So, yeah, just be really mindful of that limit. Okay, pay super close attention to this one, especially if you've ridden a lot of other bikes. Depending on where you bought your Brompton, the brake levers might be set up differently. So, in the UK, your left hand is the rear brake and your right hand is the front. But in a lot of Europe, it's the other way around. Just do yourself a favor and double check which is which before you find yourself needing to stop in a hurry. And finally, let's talk about the long game. You want this amazing bike to last, right? Well, a few simple care habits are all it takes to keep your Brompton Electric running beautifully for years and years. Okay, these are the absolute fundamentals of bike care. You want to clean your bike with just some warm, soapy water. But, and this is a big one, never, ever use a high-pressure jet wash. You do not want to force water into the motor or any of the electronics. Other than that, just keep the chain lube, make sure the battery connectors stay clean and dry, and please, don't forget to schedule that free 100-mile service with your dealer. It's the perfect way to get everything checked over after that initial break-in period. And here is a pro tip for keeping your battery healthy for as long as possible. If you know you're not going to be riding for a while, like over the winter, don't store the battery completely full or completely empty. The sweet spot is actually a partial charge, maybe about 2 lights on the indicator. Just store it like that in a cool, dry place, and you'll be doing wonders for its long-term health. So there you have it. The essentials are covered, your bike is all prepped and ready, and you are good to go. The only question left is, the most exciting one. Where is that new Brompton going to take you? Get out there and enjoy the ride.